Some videos should never exist, because when a security camera records something moving by itself, a shadow standing where no one should be, or a door opening for someone who is not really there, it makes you question what is actually watching from the dark. Tonight, we are looking at terrifying moments caught on camera that still have no clear explanation. Before we begin, like this video, subscribe to Midnight Haunts, and comment which clip you think is the most disturbing. Now, let's begin. A woman named Courtney began sharing videos online after several strange and frightening incidents started happening inside her house. The first moment happened while Courtney was sitting in her living room. Everything was quiet. Her baby was asleep nearby, and nothing seemed unusual. Then suddenly, the baby's car seat began moving on its own. Courtney was shocked. She immediately grabbed her phone and started recording, explaining that there was no remote, no person nearby, and nothing visible that could have caused the movement. But what made the moment even more unsettling was the family dog. The dog appeared nervous and uncomfortable, acting as if it could sense something in the room that Courtney could not see. At first, Courtney tried to convince herself there might be a normal explanation. But a few days later, something even more terrifying happened. Courtney was folding laundry and listening to a podcast when her dog suddenly froze and stared directly at the door. The dog began growling. Then it slowly walked toward the door, almost like it was afraid of whatever was on the other side. Seconds later, a baby bottle moved on its own and was suddenly thrown toward Courtney. Terrified, she immediately grabbed her daughter and ran out of the room. After these incidents, Courtney became convinced that something strange was inside her home. Now, she is seriously thinking about moving somewhere else. Was this a series of coincidences? Or was something unseen trying to get Courtney's attention? What do you think? Around 3:00 p.m. a woman named Benita was alone inside her home while her husband was away at work. Everything seemed normal at first. Benita was sitting in the living room, watching television, when suddenly she heard a loud and terrifying crash coming from the kitchen. Startled, she rushed to find out what had happened. But when she later checked the kitchen security camera, what she saw left her completely confused. In the footage, the stove suddenly begins to shake violently. Then, without anyone touching it, the entire appliance appears to lift before slamming back down with force. But that was not the only disturbing detail. Just moments before the stove moved, a dark, semi-transparent shape can be seen passing quickly on the opposite side of the kitchen. Benita says she understands that appliances can malfunction, but according to her, there is no possible way the stove could have moved that aggressively by itself. Because of this, some viewers believe an unseen presence may have been involved. Others think the strange shadow seen moments earlier might be connected to what happened. Was this simply a mechanical failure at the worst possible time? Or did Benita's camera capture something moving through her kitchen that should not have been there? What do you think? A woman named Jacqueline had recently moved into a new house with her daughter. At first, everything seemed normal. The house was new to them, and like most families after moving, they were still adjusting to the place and getting used to their surroundings. But after only 1 month living there, something terrifying happened. The incident reportedly took place in August 2025. On that day, Jacqueline was upstairs taking a shower, while her daughter was downstairs alone in the kitchen. Nothing seemed unusual at first. The house was quiet. Her daughter was simply spending time in the kitchen, and there was no sign that anything was wrong. But then, without warning, the young girl suddenly felt something grab her arm. She immediately became terrified. According to Jacqueline, her daughter ran upstairs in fear and told her that something had tightly grabbed her. At first, Jacqueline was confused. There was no one else downstairs. No one should have been near her daughter. But when Jacqueline checked her daughter's arm, she noticed something disturbing. There was a visible red mark where the girl claimed she had been grabbed. That was when Jacqueline knew she had to check the security camera footage. She wanted to understand what had really happened in the kitchen while she was upstairs. But when she reviewed the footage, the situation became even more frightening. In the video, objects inside the kitchen appear to move and fall on their own. Some of them even seemed to be thrown in the direction of her daughter. There was no visible person standing nearby. No one was seen touching anything. And according to Jacqueline, there was nothing in the room that could explain why the objects moved the way they did. The most disturbing part is not just the objects falling. It is the fact that her daughter said she physically felt something grab her arm. And after that, Jacqueline found a red mark exactly where her daughter said it happened. For some viewers, this could have been caused by unstable objects falling at the wrong moment. Maybe something shifted. Maybe something slipped. Maybe the camera did not capture every angle of the room. But for Jacqueline, the footage and the mark on her daughter's arm made the incident much harder to dismiss. Was this only a strange accident inside the kitchen? Or did Jacqueline's daughter experience something invisible that actually reached out and touched her? What do you think? A mother recently shared security camera footage from inside her home. While reviewing the recording, she noticed something unusual in the corner of the living room. At first, it was easy to miss. But when she zoomed in, she saw something that completely frightened her. Before this happened, the mother had already been experiencing strange events involving her child's toys. Several times, the toys appeared to activate or move in unusual ways, and she had recorded some of these incidents on her phone. Of course, some people believe the toys were simply malfunctioning. But the mother insists that the same kind of activity has happened repeatedly, and according to her, there is nothing wrong with the toys. She also says her child has started behaving as if they are interacting with someone invisible. At first, she thought it was just a child's imagination. But then the security camera captured something that changed her mind. In the footage, a plate suddenly falls from a shelf on its own. Moments later, something resembling a humanoid figure appears near her child's bed. Thankfully, the child was not in the bed at the time. The mother says she only has one dog and one cat in the home, and both animals can be seen on the couch during the recording. So if the figure near the bed was not one of the animals, then what was it? Was this just a strange shadow? Or did the camera capture something standing near the child's bed? What do you think? woman named Morgan owns a bakery in Virginia. For years, she has been sharing strange security camera footage from inside her shop. According to Morgan, unexplained activity has been happening there for a long time, and it still continues today. Some people might say that falling objects can easily be staged with strings or simple tricks. But Morgan says one particular incident was different. Inside the bakery, there were plastic bowls shaped like spider webs. For some reason, Morgan says these bowls kept appearing in places where they should not have been. It happened so often that she began wondering if the bowls were somehow connected to the strange activity inside the shop. Eventually, hoping to stop the incidents, Morgan decided to get rid of all the spider web bowls. But a few days later, she noticed one of the same bowls lying on a couch where customers usually sit. Confused and disturbed, she checked the security camera footage to see how it got there. What the camera recorded was difficult to explain. In the footage, the bowl appears to emerge from a painting hanging inside the bakery before falling into the room. Morgan was horrified. To her, it looked as if the object came directly out of the artwork. But that was not the only strange moment. Another security camera later recorded a similar incident. This time, something once again appears to come from a painting and fall onto the floor. Morgan says the object was a small plastic skeleton, although some viewers think it looks more like a bottle. Still, the movement itself is what makes the footage so unsettling. Morgan shared the videos online hoping someone could explain what is really happening inside her bakery. Is it a camera illusion? A staged trick? Or something inside the bakery trying to make itself known? What do you think? The next video was reportedly captured by a security camera in a village in Brazil in August 2025, around 11:00 p.m. According to the story, a man heard strange and frightening noises outside near his house. Concerned, he stepped outside to investigate. But he found nothing. There was no person, no animal, no obvious source of the sounds. Still feeling uneasy, he decided to check his security camera footage. That is when he discovered something unusual moving along the road. At first, a small glowing object appears in the footage, slowly drifting through the darkness. Then, seconds later, three luminous shapes appear. They look almost transparent, floating through the street like glowing creatures. The strange objects continue moving for a short time before slowly fading away until they vanish completely. The man believes what he captured was not natural. Some viewers think it could be insects reflecting light close to the camera. Others believe it might be dust, moisture, or some kind of camera artifact. But many people who saw the video say the shapes move in a way that feels too strange to ignore. Were these glowing objects just a trick of the camera? Or did something unexplained pass through that quiet village road? What do you think? In August 2025, a security camera inside a motorcycle dealership in Thailand captured a mysterious and frightening moment. In the footage, a female employee is sitting inside the shop, waiting for customers. Everything seems normal. The dealership is quiet. Nothing unusual appears to be happening. Then suddenly, the door opens by itself. The woman stands up and walks toward the entrance. But instead of looking confused, she begins speaking to someone. The disturbing part is that nobody is visible in front of her. To the camera, she appears to be talking to empty space. Moments later, her co-workers notice what is happening and rush toward her. They try to explain that there is no one standing there. Then suddenly, the woman collapses. Later, she claimed that she clearly saw a man enter the store. According to her, he was asking about a motorcycle like a normal customer. But when her co-workers came closer, the man vanished. That is when she panicked and fainted. Some believe the woman may have experienced a hallucination. Others think she saw something that the camera could not fully capture. Was this caused by stress, exhaustion, or fear? Or did an invisible customer truly enter the dealership that day? What do you think? A woman named Akina often shares videos of her daily life with her only child, Banco. Most of her videos are simple moments from everyday life. A mother spending time with her child. Quiet nights at home. Small memories captured on camera. But on January 29, 2024, at around 2:30 a.m., one of those ordinary nights turned into something Akina would never forget. That night, Akina was sleeping beside her child. The house was quiet. Her husband was still away at work, and according to Akina, he had not returned home yet. Everything seemed normal. Until suddenly, in the middle of the night, Akina woke up. At first, she seemed confused, as if something had disturbed her sleep. Then she noticed the bedroom door. The door began opening and closing on its own. Slowly, repeatedly. There was no one visibly touching it. No strong wind. No obvious reason for it to move. For anyone, seeing a door move by itself in the middle of the night would already be terrifying. But for Akina, that was only the beginning. When the door opened, she saw someone standing just outside the room. At first glance, the figure looked exactly like her husband. The same appearance. The same presence. The same familiar shape standing near the doorway. Because of that, Akina naturally believed her husband had finally come home from work. In the footage, she can be seen looking toward the figure, almost as if she is trying to understand why he is standing there silently. Then she begins to get up, seemingly preparing to greet him. There is also a sound that resembles the main doorbell ringing around the same moment the door opens, making the situation feel even more confusing. To Akina, it seemed like her husband had just arrived. But there was one frightening problem. Her husband was still at work. He had not come home yet. Akina says the figure did not stay in the doorway for long. Instead, it began to walk away. Thinking it was her husband, Akina followed him out of the room. But as she followed, something suddenly felt wrong. The atmosphere changed. The person she thought she had seen was no longer acting normal. Then, without warning, Akina froze in fear. At that same moment, the bedroom door began moving on its own again. Opening, closing, as if something unseen was still inside the house. Akina then went downstairs to check the main entrance. But when she arrived, she found the door completely closed. There was no sign that anyone had entered. No sign that her husband had come home. No one was there. That was when the terrifying realization hit her. The person standing outside her room was not her husband. Whatever she had seen looked like him. But it was not him. Overcome with fear, Akina ran back upstairs screaming. She immediately called her husband, desperate to know where he really was. Her husband reportedly returned home about an hour later. But by then, Akina was already convinced that something deeply disturbing had happened inside the house. The most chilling part is how familiar the figure appeared. It did not look like a random stranger. It looked like someone she trusted. Someone she loved. Someone she would naturally follow without questioning it. And that is what makes this footage so unsettling. Was Akina simply half asleep and confused by a shadow near the doorway? Was it a hallucination caused by waking up suddenly in the middle of the night? Or did she encounter something pretending to be her husband, trying to lure her out of the room? If that figure was not her husband, then who, or what, was standing outside Akina's bedroom at 2:30 in the morning? What do you think? The next creepy video was shared by a man on Reddit. It was reportedly captured by a security camera inside his home late at night, around 4:30 a.m. According to the man, he was watching TV when he suddenly heard a strange noise coming from the living room. At first, the incident did not seem too serious. A handbag fell to the floor. The man picked it up and placed it back where it had been, assuming it was nothing unusual. But moments later, something even stranger happened. A chair began moving by itself. There was no visible person touching it. Nothing nearby appeared to push it. And the movement was strong enough to make the man believe something strange was happening inside his home. He says that recently, he has been hearing unusual noises more and more often. Because of this, he now believes his house may be haunted. Skeptics might say the chair could have moved because of an uneven floor, vibration, or something pulling it off camera. But the timing of the handbag falling and the chair moving makes the video feel deeply unsettling. Was this just a normal household accident? Or did something unseen move the chair while the man was nearby? What do you think? This next video was posted by a man from the Philippines on TikTok. According to him, he and his family were asleep late at night when something suddenly disturbed the entire house. Their dog began barking aggressively. Not once, not twice, but non-stop. The barking was loud, intense, and completely unusual. The family says their dog normally does not react that way unless something is seriously wrong. At first, they thought someone might be outside. Maybe a stranger was walking near the house. Or worse, maybe someone was trying to break in. Concerned, the man immediately decided to check the security camera footage to see what had triggered the dog's reaction. But what he found was far more terrifying than an intruder. In the footage, the backyard appears quiet at first. Nothing unusual can be seen. Then suddenly, a white, semi-transparent figure appears out of nowhere. The shape moves back and forth in the backyard for a short moment, almost like it is pacing around the area. It does not look fully solid. It does not move like a normal person. And there is no clear explanation for where it came from. Then, just as quickly as it appeared, the figure suddenly vanishes. After seeing the footage, the family went outside to investigate, but they found nothing. There was no person in the yard, no footprints, no sign of an intruder, and nothing that could explain why their dog had been barking so aggressively. That is what made the incident even more disturbing. The family believes their dog may have sensed the figure before anyone else did. And many people believe animals can sometimes detect things that humans cannot see. Some viewers think the white shape could have been something normal, like smoke, a reflection, dust, or an insect passing close to the camera lens. But others believe the camera captured something paranormal moving through the backyard. Something the dog noticed immediately. Something the family only saw later through the security footage. So, was the dog simply reacting to an ordinary disturbance outside the house? Or did it see something standing in the darkness that the family could not? What do you think? These videos may have explanations. Camera glitches, shadows, reflections, or objects falling at the wrong time. But some moments are harder to ignore. A stove shaking by itself. A child feeling something grab her arm. A figure that looked like someone's husband. And a dog barking at something no one else could see. So tell me, which clip disturbed you the most? Comment your answer below. And if you enjoy real scary footage and unexplained moments caught on camera, like this video and subscribe to Midnight Hunts for more. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes the camera sees what we were never meant to see.